Welcome to Module 0 of the 2022-23 Test Security Training Series. This module will serve as the Assessment Training Module Overview. OSSE's Office of Assessments has developed a series of training modules to prepare for the Spring 2023 Statewide Assessment Administrations. In addition to this Assessment Training Module Overview, there are 6 required training modules. The modules are required for all LEA Test Integrity Coordinators, LEA Assessment Managers, LEA Test Coordinators, and non-public school test coordinators, including those responsible for access and alternate access, MSAA, DLM, DC Science Assessment, and PARC. LEA and non-public coordinators who are new to the role this year are required to participate in one of the live test security training sessions, either in person or virtually, and may use these modules as an ongoing resource for reference. The dates and times of the live test security training sessions are posted on OSSE's website on the Test Coordinators Resource page. Returning coordinators may complete the modules and quiz asynchronously, or they can attend one of the live test security training sessions. While these required test security training modules are intended for assessment points of contact at the LEA level, the resources and information provided in these modules can be adapted by LEAs to train authorized personnel at the school level, inserting LEA or school-specific policies as applicable. All authorized personnel are required to be trained by the LEA or school test coordinator prior to test administration. The modules follow the order of activities in the assessment coordination timeline shown on the next slide. Upon the completion of all training modules, coordinators will need to complete a quiz and certification form verifying that they have viewed and understood all content. A score of 80% or higher out of 120 total points on the quiz will serve as the official attendance and completion of the 2023 test security training. School test security plans will not be approved if the LEA Assessment Manager or LEA Test Coordinator listed in the plan did not complete the test security training. The required test security training modules include Module 0, Assessment Training Module Overview, Module 1, Test Integrity and Assessment Overview, Module 2, Preparing for Administration Part 1, Module 3, Preparing for Administration Part 2, Module 4, Test Administration Setup and Monitoring, Module 5, Test Administration Prohibited Actions and Incident Reporting, and Module 6, Administration Closeout and Reporting. This assessment coordination timeline shows the activities needed in order to prepare for and complete statewide assessment administration in the District of Columbia. The color and shape of each icon indicates who is performing each action. The orange squares indicate a required LEA submission to OSSE. The navy blue circles indicate an OSSE action. The medium blue circles indicate an LEA action. The light blue circles represent a school action with LEA oversight. The red squares indicate a shipment either to or from a school. Starting in Module 1, these icons will appear at the top right corner of slides to indicate where in the coordination process those activities occur. You may find it helpful to have this timeline available for reference as you go through each training module. Now we can briefly discuss the Aussie statewide assessments in their respective timelines. Here, you can see each of the Aussie statewide assessments. NAEP is the National Assessment of Educational Progress. It is administered for reading and math in grades 4 and 8. Only select schools administer this assessment. If your school was selected for NAEP, you have already been notified. WIDA Access for ELLs and Alternate Access is the English Language Proficiency Assessment and is available for grades K through 12. PARC is the Partnership for Assessment of Readiness for College and Careers. PARC is the general assessment for ELA and mathematics and is administered in grades 3 through high school. MSAA is the multi-state alternate assessment. MSAA is the alternate ELA and mathematics assessment for grades 3 through 8 and grade 11. DC Science is the general science assessment administered to students in grades 5, 8, and high school biology. DLM stands for Dynamic Learning Maps. DLM is the alternate science assessment administered in grades 5, 8, and high school biology. All of these assessments will be administered in 2023. This slide shows the assessment windows for each of the OSSE statewide assessments discussed on the previous slide. WIDA Access for ELLs and Alternate Access assessment windows run from February 13th through March 24th, 2023. The Spring 2023 Alternate Access Field Test will also be administered during this window. The NAEP Field Test assessment window will run from March 20th through April 14th, 2023. As a reminder, selected schools for NAEP have already been notified. MSAA and DLM assessment windows run from March 13th through April 28th, 2023. PARC and DC Science assessment windows for computer-based testing run from April 3rd through May 26th, 2023. The paper-based accommodation window for PARC and DC Science is from April 3rd through May 19th, 2023. LEAs are responsible for creating a test schedule that allows all testing to be completed within the established statewide window for each assessment. This year, the PARC and DC Science window starts 2 weeks before spring break instead of 1 week. LEAs should keep this in mind as they are planning their test schedules to ensure that they can get all their testing in before the close of the paper-based accommodation window and the close of the computer-based testing window. This slide shows the 2023 assessment windows discussed on the previous slide. If you would like to print this slide, it should be interpretable in grayscale. That said, you may want to add any LEA or school-specific holidays that are not included in this calendar view. The OSSE Office of Assessments has released several helpful resources for LEAs and schools. Among these resources is the 2022-23 Statewide Assessment Activity Schedule for LEA Assessment Managers. This one-page resource provides the highest level view of assessment activities for test security broadly, access for ELLs, alternate access, MSAA, DLM, PARC, and DC Science. You can see here that the PARC and DC Science assessment windows are aligned. Similarly, the MSAA and DLM testing windows are aligned for 2023 test administration. NAEP is not included in this resource since it does not apply to all schools. As another reminder, schools who have been selected to participate in NAEP have already been notified. You can find this and other assessment resources on the Test Coordinators Resource page linked on this slide. If you have any questions about OSSE assessment policies or specific assessment programs, please feel free to use the information on this slide to reach out to the appropriate member of the OSSE Office of Assessments. This concludes Module 0, the Assessment Training Module Overview. You can now move on to Module 1, Test Integrity and Assessment Overview.